Hey everyone, welcome back to Legally Teaching Engineer Sports. I'm Dylan here with Max Loga. Today will be Thursday, May 22nd, and our 133rd episode, Dodging Balls and Collecting Cards, a Bryan Janick story. That's right, we've got ourselves an SVSU alum who was a dodgeball champion and is now a card collecting store owner who met who, Max?
Bobby Witt Jr. of all people, pretty electric person to meet, and he's kind of like world famous. I'm gonna say.
Yeah, 100% world famous. He had over, so we've done the interview already. We're getting more professional now with this Legally Teach Engineer Sports. We've already previously recorded the interview. It's a great discussion with Bryan. He said he had over 100,000 clicks or views on his Instagram after he posted. He went to bed, woke up with over 100,000 witness or whatever it is. I don't know the lingo of social media, but
Views?
something along those lines.
Yeah.
So very cool. He has we got an inside story about how that went down. Bryan also talks about his dealings with his card collecting. He's opening a store soon in the great state of Virginia. And then we also talked about his time at Saginaw Valley State, where he was actually the founder, captain, and national champion of the Saginaw Valley State Club dodgeball team. So looking forward to that. What else are we doing, Max?
We're gonna start off with some roundtable. We'll have Vino Vibrations, Vivid Moments. That's Serenity Now. I'm gonna beat Dylan in the Cooler Talk Trivia Challenge this week, and then we'll get to the main segment.
That's right. Nailed it. Let's get it going. Episode 133 of Legally Teaching Engineer Sports, dodging balls and collecting cards of Bryan Janick story.
Kevin James. I just got three things to say. God bless our troops. God bless America. And gentlemen, start your engine.
Electric Factory there by Kevin James. All-time legendary start call. What happens this weekend, Dylan?
Indianapolis 500.
This is the Indianapolis 500. Would be remiss if I didn't have my Grand Prix hat on, the little brother.
That a boy. A great hat. Let's just get into the roundtable then with that. It's a great segue, Max. The Indy 500. Who won it last year? I know you're a big Indy guy.
Joseph Newgard.
Well, you did your research at least today, and that's well done. That's correct. Who do you like this weekend?
Oh, I'm going to lead in and rest with that. Joseph Newgard was sitting in the second pole till his team Penske today just came out and got hit with some violations for a car weight or something. So he's sitting in the 32nd pole, but still, he is
10-1.
10-1. Thank you. I got it written down. Yep, 10-1.
Yeah.
So I like him to come all the way up from the back. It's only happened. 28th is the lowest ever or start to win. Don't count him out. But ultimately, I'm going to go with Robert Shatwati. I don't know how to say his last name.
Yep.
He's a rookie. He's sitting on the post. He's 8-1.
8-1. All right, that's a good bet. I also wrote down Newgard to go back to back. They haven't had a back to back in quite some time. And then I wrote down the name Max. Let me find it. Will Power, I want to say. Does that sound right? Will Power. He's on the same team, I think, as Newgarden. So he got moved back a bit and fell down to 25-1. He was previously 15-1. But just a sick name. I know nothing else about him. So that's who I guess I'm rooting for. Any other thoughts on Indy 500? We sought out a couple. The Rothenbuehler brothers, who have previously on NASCAR fans, not Indy fans, completely different. Not Indy. What is the name of the vehicle?
IndyCar?
Well, they are Indy cars. Yeah. Okay, all right. So yeah, it's a completely different kind of vehicle. So not the same fan base necessarily. But we don't really care. You're probably eventually going to go left, and you're going to go fast, and you're going to drink milk, and you're going to kiss bricks, right?
Absolutely.
So I will rather than, without having anyone on, we're just going to quote one of the greatest members of the Tawas Area Parks and Recreation Department, Tawas City, Wayne. He just said, "You got to fucking go." I forget here, but he said you just got to get there at one time in your life. So if it's not this weekend, it's always Memorial Day Sunday, right? It's always a party on Saturday, is what I'm told. Pretty much Friday night into Saturday.
Yep.
All day Sunday, trickling after the race Sunday night. You just got to go one time in your life, he said. So
make sure Turn it on. 12:45 is post time. Tea time, post time, post time. Post times for horses. Start your engines. 12:45.
All right. I like that. Speaking of races, good Indy car. That was our preview for the Indy 500. By the way, if you're in Indianapolis, people are talking how it's like the same day as the Pacers are going to host Game 3. It's quite far away from downtown Indy, so it's not too much of a problem. Don't you worry. You just talked about horses, Max. You watched the Preakness?
I did not have eyes on the Preakness. I'm sorry. I was a little busy this weekend, but I did not have eyes on. Did you?
Well, you just missed one of the greatest races in all of horse racing history. So sorry to you.
Sorry to me. Give me a recap.
Journalism is the greatest horse to ever live. Was boxed in basically with furlongs to go. I don't know the exact number. I know a furlong is a thing. Was boxed in about, so it had a horse on the inside, then it was journalism, and then it was trying to make a move, and then two horses basically tried to peanut butter jelly time him or her, and he or she muscled he or her way out of the jam pack, and with furlongs behind, let's say it's 11, made up all that time to win by about 11 inches. So pretty electric. And I was sitting there on my phone because I was also not in front of a TV at the time, with the volume all the way down. So I wasn't sure if there was going to be like a, first off, if journalism had won. So unofficially, I saw journalism did win. And then I was worried, is there going to be like a infraction, right? For the muscle?
Yeah.
Exactly. So there was not. Journalism was the Preakness winner. Should have won the Kentucky Derby. Was the best horse. Sad that Sovereignty didn't even bother to race in the Preakness. So bitch move there. But yeah, it was an awesome horse race.
Yeah. I saw a recap of it, but like just a 15-second version of it at the very end. So I did see like the end and how close it was, but I didn't know all that he or she worked their way, through the whole pack to win.
Yeah. The muscling was pretty, it was almost like the jockey fell over, but maintained and kept pushing. So very cool. You said you were too busy. Let's get a recap, Max. You were in the great state of
Wisconsin
and the great city of
Milwaukee,
and you went to
the Brewers
and saw
them lose to the Twins.
All right, give me a recap in 6 sentences or less about your experience.
All right, so I kind of
is it still called Miller Park before you get going?
It's not.
Damn.
It's not Miller Park anymore. It is like an insurance family life or something park. So when we arrived to tailgate, the dome was open. Got to live action and watch them close it because there was thunderstorms coming in. So that was pretty cool.
That's sweet.
That was pretty cool. Big stadium. Other than that, really don't have much to tell you. There were really no stairs. We got cattle chute up a ramp to get to the top. So we had top nosebleed seats. Nothing wrong with it. But we had to cattle chute up the ramp instead of taking stairs, which I did not like.
Escalator? What are we talking about? Cattle chute? What's a cattle chute?
In Comerica where they have like the ramp, you have to go up, the handicaps have to take it.
Yeah.
That was the only option there.
So I know you're not saying stairs.
Not stairs.
But it's a walkway.
A walkway. Yeah, a walkway. I'm calling it a ramp, cattle chute where we're all shoehorned in.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I had to take that, and it just seemed to go on for hours and hours and hours. So not a fan of that. Okay. Other than that, they lost 3-0. Didn't get to see Bernie slide down the slide. Very upset about that.
What kind of beer did you have?
Spotted Cow.
Is it good?
Oh, very good. It was very delightful. Would recommend it if you make your way to Wisconsin.
I've been to Wisconsin a handful of times and Spotted Cow.
Yep, Spotted Cow.
Spotted Cow is the beer of choice for sure. Whether it be at a casino, basketball game, or baseball.
I'm gonna enlist our GHLers in the Metro Detroit area. If you know of a local soccer bar that opens up 8:00 on a Saturday that airs all soccer games, please reach out to us and let us know. I got a chance to go to an actual one, a big Bayern Munich one, and Bayern Munich was playing, and Bayern Munich would score, and these 7 dudes were sitting at the bar drinking Rumpelmints and double vodka sodas at 8 a.m. Started chanting in German, and they go, "Oi, oi, oi, something, 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 Dankeschön, Dankeschön, Dankeschön," and it was electric. The whole bar started going nuts. So if there's a place like that in the Metro Detroit area, please let us know.
All right, love that. As the Premier League's and soccer season's ending, let us know. Did you run into GHL or Anthony?
I did run into GHL or Anthony.
Report back.
He's good. He had to go to a birthday party, so we only slipped in one beer together, but he was good. Other than that, that was the report.
All right. Shout out to GHL Anthony. All right, that's enough talking about the state of Wisconsin and the shithole city of Milwaukee.
It's too long.
All right, what else we got? We got lots of things. Are you team Caitlin or are you team Angel?
Well, do you want to segue to our vibration valuable moments? Because mine's about Caitlin.
We'll hold off on that. So, are you just team that whole discussion's dumb as shit and let's pretend like that sport doesn't exist anymore?
I have both, actually. That one more so, yeah.
Sounds good. Let's move on. NHL, NBA. Will you go ahead?
I was just gonna ask, how's your WNBA team doing? 2 games in, 3 games in.
Do you think I have a WNBA team right now?
Yeah, we claimed them last week.
Who did I claim?
The Fever. You were the Fever because of Dave.
I did not claim. Did I claim the Fever?
You did. You claimed the Fever because of Dave, and they got some lookers on the bench. End quote.
Yeah, I might have claimed the Fever. All right, I'm on the Fever. They're 1-0. Down against the Dream right now. I was live betting them. Probably should have been. How's your team doing?
I'm 0-2. The Wings are really bad.
Dallas? You want Paige?
I went with Paige. They're really bad.
She's not good.
No, so picking myself every day. I get an update.
Tough. I like how you get updates. Respect. I guess I'm glad I picked the Fever because you always know you will always know how they are doing because they're going to be the most talked about team. So,
yeah.
By the way, shout out to Dave on that. He won. So he put $25,000 down on Caitlin Clark to get a triple double. I think he won $350. Absurd.
WA league minimum for a year.
$349,999.
No, $275. You made league minimum.
All right, there it is. So no, you're right. Yeah. So he made more than anyone's going to make this whole year. I think the most that someone's going to make is $349. So he made more. That's what it was. Yeah. That's correct. All right, good stuff. Max, your Brighton Seagulls moved ahead of myself and Sam. Sam's Fulham Fox beat Brentford over the weekend. That's all right. Yeah, I don't know. The 3 of our teams are just in the middle of the pack. Who cares? I am eyeing, though, like week 1 or week 2 next year to start the Premier League, heading out to London. Brentford play the G-Tech. They're about 14 minutes from Heathrow Airport in London. So I'm thinking of catching a game and heading right back. We'll see.
24 hours.
No, I'll be like 36. But yeah, TBD on that one. All right, what do you got?
My newest thing, Detroit golf. Did you hear what happened today?
I did.
I'm sure if Sam probably wrote in about this, how he's so excited to watch Motor City Golf in the TGL next year.
No, Sam did not. We are communicating Manana on Sam right now, so we don't know.
Oh, well, I'm sure he's feeling it right now, and his fingers are probably rapidly texting one of us to talk about it on the podcast tonight because they are getting a TGL golf club in Metro Detroit. Well, a team. It's in Vegas, but a team from Detroit.
Yeah, based from Detroit. Yep. Detroit Motor City Golf Club. Not till 2027, though. So kind of odd. I don't understand why it takes 2 years to get that going, but I guess there it is. Speaking of golf, Sky Scheffler, is he going to be better than Tiger, you think, eventually?
I think he probably already is. I mean,
well, no, he's not.
He's not, but I think he will be. Yes, I do.
Yeah, I think he will amass more majors and titles than Tiger, than anyone else who has ever played golf. He's so good, barring injuries.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. And I think the thing that makes him so, I mean, I can't speak on watching Tiger when he was young and on the prowl. I only remember old Tiger struggling around kind of thing. So I think what I saw or read is Scotty's locked in, but Scotty has fun. When Tiger was like this, he was just dialed in and nobody wanted to be around him. I think that's the difference.
Yeah, that's fair. Are you old enough to remember where you were when Tiger ran into that tree?
Yeah, when he was going like 90 in California in the Genesis car.
No, not that one. The one where he ran into the tree when he got found out he was banging a bunch of women.
No, I don't know.
Yeah, I think I was like in 9th or 10th grade of high school, so that would put you those young maybe. Yeah. But, I think Scotty had his remember where you were moment last year when you got arrested. So yeah, he's on the revenge. Did you see the Nike ad? Greatest golfer in the world? Guilty.
Yeah.
Scotty Scheffler. He was plus 250, I think, on after Friday's round being like still 5 shots back. Like absurd. Absurd.
Yeah, it's great. Yep.
Yeah. All right. NHL and NBA conference final Western East for both are starting up. You staying true, or are you changing your picks, or what are you doing?
No, staying true. We got a magnet on the line in the Western Conference for the NHL. Edmonton versus Dallas came to fruition. I'm still sticking with the Oilers. You have Dallas.
Yep, I am.
Okay. I'm still picking that though. I'm going Edmonton, Carolina in my Stanley Cup.
Yeah, so I mean, I had Dallas, Carolina, and then I think I flipped to Toronto. But so I'm gonna stick with Carolina. It's 2-1 after one right now. We're still recording this on Tuesday night. Florida's up, but I think Carolina's good enough to come back and win that game.
Yeah.
NBA, I think when we redid it, I said Knicks, Nuggets. Unfortunately, the Nuggets lost in a snooze fest of Game 7. So I'm actually gonna go Pacers, Timberwolves. What about you?
I'm still. I don't really remember what I said for the West. I'm gonna go Oklahoma City, and I'm gonna go Pacers as well. So give me OKC Pacers.
All right, respect. I think you said OKC when we did this last week, so sounds right. All right. Do you have anything else for the roundtable?
No, actually, it's just a humble brag after the Tigers playing so well. I mean, it doesn't mean anything, but the MLB does power rankings every Monday, and there's a new number one team, and that
Who
is
is it?
the Detroit Tigers. I mean,
Oh,
it's
yeah.
pretty cool to see. They've always been like 4 or 5 the whole season, and then they've been on kind of a tear on the road, so they got bumped up to number one. So
Love it. Yeah, we haven't talked about the Tigers. We should. In St. Louis, got ass blasted on Monday night. It's okay. A little bit of starting rotation injury issues. Mize is currently in the IR. Hopefully, he comes back this weekend. Reese Olson just went to the IL. Hopefully, he's not there too long. Alex Cobb, who they signed from the Guardians, is still not back. Doesn't sound like he's coming anytime soon. And there are still some bullpen issues, but the team is hitting very, very well, and that's sexy. I think I saw that they're on pace to have like 40 more home runs than they had all of last year, so that's exciting. They're on pace to win 107 games, which would be the most in, I think, Detroit Tigers history. The 84 team only won 104. So yeah, it's an exciting time right now. Hopefully the Tigers can maintain and keep going. Yeah, looking forward to it. Looking forward to a great weekend of Tigers baseball at Comerica Park. Guardians come in, right? Division rival.
yep.
And then the Giants featuring Justin Verlander come to Detroit for Memorial Day, Monday, Tuesday, and then Wednesday. So get to downtown Detroit and Comerica Park.
Yeah, absolutely. Maybe if you don't want to spend that much money on Saturday, the giveaway is not that good. It's a red pinstriped hat
Okay.
with a D on it. May pump the brakes on that one. Enjoy your Memorial Day Saturday having a barbecue instead.
Yeah, I'd say go maybe Thursday night or Friday night for some fireworks. Maybe do that.
There you go.
Yeah, good stuff. And then last thing before we move back to Vino's vulnerable venting vocalization, bummer, Michigan softball got ousted in the regional, beat Central Florida, then got ass blasted by Texas, and then lost again to Central Florida. Michigan baseball, their season's more likely not over as well. They're in the Big Ten tournament, but the way the stupid ass tournament is set up, they can't advance for a reason Max probably still doesn't understand. And I'm not willing to explain at this point. And they more likely than not will not be selected to go to the tournament. So bummer for Michigan baseball. Yeah, that's all I got really there. So, and I will say this, I love watching Big Ten baseball tournament. Like that's one of my favorite things to watch. So kind of disappointed that they changed the format this year, with more teams coming in. They kind of had to, but bummer to see it, I guess, develop the way it has.
So yeah, I would say I don't know why. I think they need to take a page out of the Big Ten basketball. I don't know if they did, but the bottom dwellers don't make it.
They did. So they've always done that. So the
Okay.
bottom dwellers don't make the Big Ten tournament. But what they did this year is they made 4 pools.
Yeah.
Basically, it's pool play. But the higher seed, they automatically basically gave you an 80% chance to advance as long as you win one game.
Yeah, it makes no sense.
Yeah, so kind of an asinine thing, but I guess that's why you play the regular season, I suppose. But then why have the tournament this way? I don't know. Just oh well. So there's that. No worth straining that one over it now. Anything else, Max?
No, that was it for my roundtables.
All right, good round table. Let's get to Vino's vulnerable venting vocalization presented by Furbo. Hoping to not miss a second of your four-legged furry friend while you're away. Don't fret, as Furbo is your go-to gadget for those extended trips away from your small, sweet souls. Furbo allows you to keep eyes on, pass out treats, and even talk to your not-so-travel-friendly cats or dogs. Head to Amazon now to purchase your own Furbo today. LTES, in conjunction with Furbo, is not responsible for any scandalous romantic entanglements and disclaims any and all liability related to or stemming from marital misbehavior. 4 legs, 1 sweet soothing solo, a cuddling champion, and a fan of the finer foods are forever cat king, Sir Vino. Max, what is your Vino's vulnerable venting vocalization?
Uh, Mine is Caitlin Clark and the fact that she just keeps dominating Angela Reese in all aspects of life. No matter how hard Angela Reese tries to get her face in the limelight and all this, Caitlin Clark will always win. So that's my Vino vibration, vulnerable moment. Is Caitlin Clark for being a dog and ultimately getting the last laugh on all things Angela Reese.
Love that. You stumbled through that as much as I stumbled through the promotion for Bryan Furbo, so good job. I like that. Thank you. Well done. 4 whiskers out of 5. Good job. My Vino's vulnerable venting vocalization is to America. This is Memorial Day weekend. Happy Memorial Day weekend, everyone. Shout out to our troops, everyone who served. Bryan Janick, our guest this evening, was a member of the Marines. Still is, I suppose, right? A veteran. So shout out to America, being the greatest nation in the whole wide world. Continuing to kick ass when needed. This one's to you. Cheers to you, America.
It's five. That's 5 out of 5 whiskers.
Yeah, you can't dismiss a whisker on that, right? America.
Yep.
Got to stand up for the anthem, and you got to stand up for the veterans in the 7th inning or the 6th inning stretch. All right, with that, let's do our story now. Brought to you by Newport Menthol Lights, America's classy, smooth cig. Stressed out at work, overwhelmed at home, or distraught with a disappointing team? Don't panic and just puff on some Newport Menthol Lights. Long puff in, deep breath out. Newport Menthols has been silencing stress and greeting customers to heaven since 1957. But snipe your cigs fast, as a ban on menthol cigs is currently under debate by the FDA. Light, suck, puff. Newport Menthol Lights. All right, Max kind of already bitched about Wisconsin in general. I'll throw in another story now. Present to us by Newport Menthol Lights. The Game 7s over the weekend. They were duds. So Toronto got waxed by the Florida Panthers 7-1. Boring game. After the second period, I guess it was 0-0 after one, and then second period on, it was just a horrible game. I think Florida scored 2 goals in a minute and a half, 2 minutes, and then they had a third pretty quickly. Toronto scored a goal to start the third to make it 3-1, but then Florida answered with like 2 goals. So just a really boring game. And then, unfortunately, about 3 hours before that, it was a horrible basketball game 7. Nuggets, Thunder. It was like about a 3-point game with 5 minutes to go in the first half, and then it was 13 points at half, and then it was 35 points real quick. So real shitty game there. So yeah, just running down to the duds that were the Game 7s.
I mean, the most interesting thing that happened in that Game 7 in hockey was the ref that got caught in the face. Everything is okay. He's going to be fine. He actually came out and said he's going to be back to ref in the NHL playoffs.
Hockey guy. That's a hockey guy. I like that. All right, Max. Good stuff. Before we get to the main entree, Mr. Bryan Janick, let us now do our legally teach engineer sports cooler talk questions brought to us by SeatGeek. Shout out to SeatGeek. Looking for your Michigan football tickets, Post Malone tickets. Hopefully it was a good concert. Or trying to get into the Tigers exclusive home plate club. Look no further than SeatGeek. SeatGeek offers unmatched usability, factual forward-facing fees, and access to All-Star Esque and Aura oozing seats no other sites can compete with. Use code LTS_Max, MACKS, to garner a 6.9% discount on your next SeatGeek purchase. SeatGeek, unlocking your inner ticket buying freak. All right, Max, 5 questions. Are you ready?
Let's do it.
What year did Michigan last win a national title in softball?
2016.
Oh my goodness. You said you were watching this weekend. They showed it 5 times. 2005.
That's close.
And if you recall, the home run hitter, well, you'll just have to watch and you report back what you see. You'll pick up what I'm putting down.
Okay.
Where is the Big Ten baseball tournament?
Ooh. Champaign, Illinois.
It's there every year, if that helps.
Oh, Omaha, Nebraska. I don't know why it's there, but
okay, that's correct. Fun fact: if Michigan had beaten Illinois, I think I was going to make the 10-hour one-way trip to go watch them play on Friday against UCLA or Thursday, but they did not win, so I'm not.
Maybe they did you something. Did you a favor?
Yeah, maybe they're looking out for me, right?
Yeah.
How many draft picks do the Pistons have this year?
I feel like you already asked that last week. One.
That's correct. Damn it! If I didn't change it, I'm irritated at myself. Who just hired Michael Jordan as a contributor?
I have no idea.
Didn't hear that. NBC. So NBC basketball's shifting to NBC. They have a pretty star-studded crew, and I think Tarico is like one of the hosts on the table. So Michael Jordan's going to come in and like be not like a mainstay. He's going to be like Jalen Rose, basically. In one.
Okay, I did not hear any of that. That's sweet.
Yeah, so hopefully he does like a whole gambling section because he loves to gamble. Last question: who is the Detroit Tigers' third base coach?
His last name is Cora. Don't know his first name.
His brother's first name is Alex.
Doesn't help.
His name is Joey.
Joey Cora. Okay.
We'll give it to you.
Yeah.
We'll give it to you. Good job. Good job. All right. Let's send it back to ourselves, Max, as we introduced our interviewee, Mr. Bryan, Janick. All right. We're on to the main segment of this evening's episode, Max. Remember, today will be Thursday, May 22nd. Of Legally Teaching Engineering Sports, episode 133, Dodging Balls and Collecting Cards, a Bryan Janick story. What does that mean, Max?
That's a great question. I don't even know personally, and I'm so excited to finally dive into this interview because I had this circled on my calendar. It's probably our first of any kind that we've had on the podcast, and I am excited to dive in. So I'm going to let Dylan introduce our special guest.
Let's formally introduce our guest, Mr. Bryan Janick, a Marine. Thank you for your service. A Cardinal, a national champion dodgeballer, a card collector, trader, seller, a husband, an avid fan of Detroit sports and the Michigan Wolverines,
Go Blue,
a father of 3. Bryan Janick, welcome to Legally Teaching Engineer Sports.
Thank you, appreciate it.
Absolutely. Yeah, I mean that was a lot.
That was a mouthful.
You've done so much. I've had the pleasure. So, Bryan, you are a graduate of Saginaw Valley State.
Correct. Yep.
Go Cards.
Yep.
I ran into you. I think the last time I saw you was at a tailgate at Michigan versus Notre Dame.
Yes, it was.
Where College Game Day was at. So it's been a while. It's been a minute, but I'm happy to. Bryan's wife, Ashley, was actually my lab partner at my biology class at Saginaw Valley State University. So we've stayed in touch this long time. Bryan is an avid card collector who's recently been in the news. We're going to get into it with his Bobby Witt story. He's a dodgeballer, maybe retired at this point, not too sure.
Yeah.
But let's just get right into it. Let's start it off, Max, I guess. Give you the first question. There's a lot of pressure on this question.
Well, that's an awkward segue. You wanted me to rip the Band-Aid off. I'm going to rip it off.
Yeah, do it.
So how did you come across meeting Bobby Witt and making this legendary trade with Bobby Witt?
So my old boss reached out to me and he was like, "Oh, I got tickets to Camden Yards versus the Royals," because he knows I like watching Bobby Witt Jr. And I was like, "Yeah, let's go." And he's like, "Well, we're sitting row one right next to the Royals dugout." I was like, "Oh, this is good." Okay, so I had a huge card of his. It was a Bowman Sapphire Red Refractor variation and a PSA 10. And I paid about 3,000 for the card about a year ago. So I reached out to him because I know he's a huge card collector. And I never thought in a million years he would respond, but he actually responded to my Instagram message. And I don't know why he chose to read my messages because I know he's got hundreds of thousands of messages.
Yeah.
But for some reason, he responded and he said, "Let's do it." And I was like, "For real?" I responded with "for real." I was like, "Oh man, I should have responded that way." And then I didn't hear nothing back. And I was like, "All right, I think this is going down." But a couple days before the game, I was like, "Friday, is it still on?" And he responded back. He's like, "Yeah, it's on. Just meet me by the dugout before the game, and we'll make the trade." And I was like, "Awesome, sounds." Because when I sent the message, I was like, "Hey, let's just trade for a game used bat and a picture. That's all I wanted for like the card shop for display." Um, and he was like, "I tell you what, I'll throw you in an extra bat as well." And I was like, "Okay, let's do this," because he knew the value on the card too. And so it was game day. I woke up. Like, I don't even think I went to bed that night because I was so
Oh.
excited. And so anyways, I wake up early in the morning and I'm ready by it's a 7 o'clock game. I'm ready by noon. So I just start driving out to Baltimore to my old boss's house and I brought some cards to open too. So when I get to my boss's house, we open some Bobby Witt Jr. Bowman. We'll go looking for his first card and stuff like that, and get prepared. And then he's like, we actually pulled some Bobby Witt Juniors, which was pretty cool because we passed them out at the game. But anyways, when we get to the game, it starts pouring. So we go into a restaurant, bar restaurant there in Baltimore called Pickles. Um, and we got some drinks and whatnot, and it was still pouring. And I got a message from Bobby saying, "Hey, I'm at the dugout. Come meet me." I'm like, "Let's book it." So we started running through the rain. And when we get to the gates, they started letting people in early because it was raining so hard so that they would have cover. We get to the first gate where we're sitting, and the usher there wouldn't let us down. And my old boss that I was with, he was like, "But he's here to meet Bobby Witt Jr. We got to go down." And the usher was not having any part of it. So we went around to the next gate. There was nobody there. We went straight down. And there was already a couple people actually down there trying to get autographs from people. And Bobby was standing out at the dugout on the far side. And he was like, or all the people down there were trying to get his signature or get his something from him. But they had a section roped off for us. And so Bobby came over. They roped it off so nobody else can come by. And I gave him one of my T-shirts, actually this one that I'm wearing, Goat Sports Cards. I gave him a shirt, and then I showed him the card and stuff like that, and then he gave me two bats, which I have right here. So the first one is game used. He signed it right there.
Yup.
He's got such a pretty signature, but there's a mark on this bat, which is very unique. So I had some people that I know that are into game use memorabilia and stuff, and they photo matched the bat for me. So now I have a picture of him using it versus the Guardians.
Wow.
Yep, and then so which is really cool. This bat it has the knob that he there we go, 7. Yeah, his logo, and he puts a 7 on the end inside there. It's actually such a sweet bat. But I photo matched it to actually some games in spring training too. So he used it in spring training as well. And then the second bat that he gave me, it's more of a show bat, and I think he gave me that for the shop. It's so clean. But this is what he uses most of the time. It's just this one's never been used. So he gave me an unused bat. Yep. And then so when he gives me the bats, security, they came out of everywhere and were like, we have to escort you out of here. Well, we're like, what do you mean? They were like, you can't have these bats sitting here. One, that I don't think they wanted the bat stolen or maybe used as a weapon type thing, but they made me, they escorted me to security and checked in the bats. It was pretty cool. Everybody was watching me. I was like, oh my God.
Oh, that's
That's
awesome. Oh my God.
Yeah.
that's sick. That is a ton to unpack right there. Incredible. So
Yeah.
to even so, how did this story, I guess, become a news story? I think I'll say it. I think it's kind of like a national news story. Max saw it randomly on
Yes.
Instagram. He's
So
like, how do you know him?
I will
Yeah.
preface this before you go, Brian.
Yeah.
Dylan said, "Oh, I got this card trader coming on," and it was like a day or two after I saw Tops. So I follow Tops on Instagram,
Yep. Yep.
and Tops posted this story, and I was like, "Huh." I was like, is this guy? And I sent it to him on Instagram. He goes, yes, that's that guy. I was like, holy shit, that's awesome. So
Yeah.
yeah, I saw it with even not even knowing you even.
So when I came home that night, I posted some pictures and a video on my Instagram account. And when I woke up in the morning, I had over 100,000 views. I had messages. I had my Instagram just blew up. And Tops, they commented on the picture on one of the pictures and said that's fire. So I responded to them and told them a little bit of the details, and then they messaged me, hey, can we use your story? And I was like, absolutely. And then I kind of told them some of the details, that I'm a retired police officer getting ready to open a sports car shop. That's kind of why Bobby was doing it too, to have these bats on display. I'm going to put some pictures out there. I'm gonna try and look for the game used lineup card from the game that he used the bat, and I kind of want the one from Baltimore, so I'll kind of look for those, just the game used lineups and stuff like that. And yeah, that's kind of how all that went
That is
down
awesome.
with Tops. And then yeah, once Tops published that too, it was unbelievable amount of people messaged me, which it was awesome too, because a lot of people from this area that didn't know I was opening a card shop, they do now. I had
Awesome.
people like just right down the road be like, hey, I live in Reston. Where's the card shop? I'm like, I'm opening up in Herndon. And they're like, oh, I'm like 2 minutes away from there. So the amount of people that messaged me saying that kind of stuff was overwhelming. Awesome.
Wow. So opening day balloons may not be necessary for Goats sports trading cards. Is that correct?
Yes.
So when roughly? So you said Herndon, Virginia.
Herndon, Virginia. Yep.
Herndon, Virginia. When is roughly opening day for the store?
Yep. So we signed the lease back in February, but it takes a long time for these permits to get approved for the construction. Permits finally got approved for our sign. I think the permits got approved for construction. They were supposed to start this week, maybe, or maybe started at the end of last week and into this week. They said it would take 4 weeks. So I'm guessing mid-June, they should be done with construction. Hopefully, as long as everything goes well with that part. And then we're looking at waiting till after the 4th of July and doing like a July 12th on a Saturday grand opening.
Badass. All right. Awesome. That's very, very exciting. So Max,
Yes.
let's stay in the cards. Max, you have a question related to cards generally, or
Yep.
the store, or anything like that?
Oh, I got card questions.
Yes.
So I mean, I know absolutely nothing about what makes a card, so I'm just gonna broad umbrella. What makes a good trading card?
So
Great question.
So condition is the biggest thing on these things nowadays. As long as the condition is excellent, the card value is worth a lot more. Especially on older cards, the higher the grade, you're getting like just for instance, say like a Hank Aaron rookie, you have a PSA 3. It might be a $3,000 card as a PSA 3, but you start getting up in PSA 6, 7, 8, you're looking at six-figure cards and stuff like that. That's just based on condition. Newer cards, there more people grade them right away, so the condition is still important, but it's a little bit easier to get 9s and 10s on your cards. Obviously, you still get some printing issues when they Topps and Panini prints these cards, and you get some lower grade cards. Yeah, and then also nowadays they have serial numbers too. So the lower the serial number, the better. You got 1 of 1s, 1 of 5s. The card that I traded Bobby was a 1 of 5.
Oh,
There's only 5 of them out there.
okay.
That's awesome. Brian, so you just threw out PSA. What does I'm with Max. I'm
Yes.
completely ignorant to this topic. What does that stand for?
So PSA is top grading company. It's the name of the company. You have Beckett out there. You have SGC. Those are more of the top grading companies. Beckett's kind of fallen off a little bit of late. So, but PSA is by far the superior grader as value goes. If you want the most value in your card, you grade with PSA.
Okay, and then you said, so what is the grade through 1 through 10? Or
Yes, 1 through 10.
and then 10,
Bobby Wood Jr. during the year actually did he put some of his trading cards in his pocket and wore them in the game and sent them off to be graded, and they came back low grades, but they're game worn by Bobby Wood Jr., so the value is priceless.
Oh, that's so cool. That's actually a neat idea as a player to do.
Yeah.
That's a really cool idea.
Corbin Carroll did it with them as well. There was 2 of them.
all
But
right.
yeah.
Wow.
You see like Bobby Witt sliding for a ball he doesn't have to, so they get dirt all over him and stuff.
I know, right?
What you doing out there?
Yeah.
That's hilarious. Wow. Okay, very cool. So I see you have a card sitting in front of you.
I have a few of them. I brought some Bobby Witt Juniors out. So I did get some feedback, positive and negative when I made the trade. Some people thought I got fleeced, which I mean, technically, because I'm never going to sell these bats, so technically I may have lost $3,000, but because that's what I paid for the Bobby Witt that I paid or traded away. Even though I think it's a $5,000 card, right around that range right now. But the amount of for the store, the amount of attention I got for the store is priceless.
Yeah. And the fact you got to meet him, you got pictures with him, you got to Instagram message with him.
So I still have a very solid Bobby Witt Jr. collection. So here's the first one. This is a rookie card. This is a booklet out of 10. This is a piece of his game used jersey, and then his autograph. But this is a lower end because it has a sticker auto. A lot of collectors want on card autos, but it's still out of 10. And I love Allen and Ginter product on top, so that's one of my favorites.
Before we move on, where do you get something like that? I'm thinking you probably don't pull a pack from Meyer.
Yeah, not always. It's very rare that you pull a big card from a hobby box or Meyer or Target. This one specifically I bought on eBay. Okay. Actually, pretty much all the cards in front of me right now, I'm going to show you I bought on eBay. eBay's the biggest seller for cards, sports cards. So this is a second year Bobby Witt Jr. This is nasty. So this is called Dynasty. This one's out of 5. This is his second year, but when he slid, the jersey patch got dirt on it, so they put that in the card. Oh, and you know what? If you look at Bobby Witt Jr.'s games too, there isn't too many games where he has a clean jersey on. So all these cards have dirt on them except for one. I'm starting to question the patch on this card because I don't know if it's really game worn because this is it. This is his third year out of 10.
It's clean.
Yeah, it's too clean. I don't know. And then I got his 2025 here. This is out of 10, but this one's a piece of his bat in the card.
Holy crap! That's awesome.
And he signed the bat, which was awesome. Yep.
So I'll left hand up, Max. I didn't even realize. I guess I kind of sort of realized that there were sometimes items, I'll call them, like pieces of bats or gloves or jerseys. I didn't really know that though.
Yes, they put cleats in the cards now too, and the cards are like that thick. They're crazy. They put a whole cleat in them.
I started seeing this more and more as I follow Topps. I'm not gonna lie. I started following Topps when the Paul Skeens thing started coming out of his debut patch.
Yep.
So this is a question I have written down. I'm just gonna go right to it. If you would have gotten that 1 of 1, would you have made the trade with Pittsburgh Pirates? You would have held on to it.
I would have. I would have done the same thing the kid did in California or his parents or whatever. I would have graded it and send it off. They sent it off to, I forget what auction place they went to, but I probably would have went with Ken Golden.
Okay, that was one of my questions because Dylan and I joking like, yeah, give us those season tickets. We're there. But now
I know.
knowing this stuff, maybe I
Yeah.
don't.
It would be a 5-hour drive for me every day to go to a game in Pittsburgh. And same with California. He ain't going to take season tickets living out in California.
Yeah.
What did he get for that?
What's that?
What did he get? Do you know?
The card sold for 1.3 million. Maybe I'm saying that. I think it was close to 1.3 million.
I think you're right. I thought I heard over $1 million. Seeing that,
it was over $1 million. It might 1.13 or something like that. It was over $1 million though. Yeah, that kid's college is paid for, and he can buy whatever other Paul Skeens card he wants.
Right.
So that's electric. So let's go kind of into the business of, I guess, how would you do you call it trading and buying and collecting, Bryan? Or
yes,
talk about the natural order of the business, how you approach it, and how you will approach it with the new. You've had this. You go to shows. I know that. So you go to shows for all of our GHL. Bryan attends shows, has a following of people on his Instagram, has a ton of cards, but now he's heading into a storefront. So what does your business look like, I guess? Kind of explain that.
Yeah. So starting up the business was the hardest thing because I don't have a account with Tops yet. When you apply for an account with Tops and Fanatics, you have to. I filled out the whole resume, but you have to add storefront pictures. They want to make sure the store is really nice, modern looking, and it was like a huge resume basically, why you should be with Tops type thing. So going forward, once I get that Tops account, I'll be able to buy boxes of cards at wholesale value. But starting up, I'm trying to buy boxes that are already out there, older boxes that maybe like Shohei Ohtani's rookie year. Those boxes are ridiculous amount of price, and I try to get quantity of newer stuff versus some of the older and more expensive boxes to start off with.
You take I don't know, like you say, the quantity. You take all those cards and then you
Yeah.
flip them fairly quickly for the most part, or how does that work?
Some of them I keep long term. I put them away in the safe, but most of them I put out on the showcase to sell right away. I mean, sometimes even at card shows, we'll buy cards and we'll look at them and be like, "Oh, this one's I'm going to keep for a long time," and we'll just put that to the side. And others we'll put right back in our display case. And because usually when we buy the cards at card shows, we're usually buying at 70-80% of what they're valued at. And so we still have a little bit of room to make some money there.
Ah, very nice. That's badass. You're saying we. Do you have a business partner?
So right now it's just me. I sell at card shows with one of my neighbors, Scott, and another buddy, Josh. I worked with his dad when I was at the Pentagon. And so it's us three that sell at the card shows. I want to get them at the shop, Josh, especially to start off with, because I want to do online breaking and stuff like that, and he would be excellent at that. Now, Scott, on the other hand, he's more of a financial investor right now. So when we buy big cards, he's usually buying half of the card with me. And then when I sell it, I just send him the profits.
Yeah, that's awesome. Wow. All right. So you just said a word. You want to get, I think you said your neighbor into something. What was it? The online
breaking, online breaking.
What is that?
So online breaking is you get a bunch of people in a chat type thing, and you do a show online.
Oh, wow.
And say you have a box of cards. You can do it different ways. You can baseball has what 30 teams, 32 teams or 30 teams, whatever it is. So say the box is $200. You break down each team by a certain dollar amount. Some teams are more. If you're like 2024 Ellie De La Cruz Cincinnati team would cost a little bit more. The Paul Skeens Pittsburgh would have been more, and some of the teams that don't have top rookies would be a little bit less. But there's different ways to do these breaks too. You can set a exact price and do a randomized ramming up like if you buy a team for $25, I'll do a random drawing and you'll get whatever team comes out or division or whatever. That's kind of how the breaks go. And whatever cards come out of the break for the team that you have, they go to you or division. Yeah.
Badass. So
So
that's
you-
like kind of a win-win almost there.
So if you have $1,000 box, a lot of people don't want to buy $1,000 box, but they can buy into the break and be able to have a chance to get one of the cards that they really want.
And then it becomes individualized at that point.
Yes. Yeah.
That is awesome. So that would be
Yeah.
I'm really interested in that.
Yeah.
Because there's
Yes.
there's kind of like a gambling side to it. You're risking, you don't know what you're
Correct.
gonna get, but you're
Correct.
not putting yourself on the limb and hanging yourself out there to dry.
Correct. Because if you buy $1,000 box and you might get a $200 card and that's it, it's a little bit more risk to go all in. But then if you buy $1,000 box and pull the Paul Skeens 1-on-1, no.
Right? You never know.
You're alluding to my next question. And I don't know
Yeah.
if you're allowed to ask this sort of thing, but I'm still going to do it because we don't care here at Legally Teaching Sports. What's the biggest windfall?
The
What's the
windfall.
biggest return on a card? What is the biggest, like you pulled one, you're like, holy shit.
So it wasn't actually a card I pulled. I bought a Willie Mays rookie. It was a SGC 3.5. I bought it at a card show for it was about 4,000, I think I bought it for. But then he passed away and the price of his stuff shot up. And I had the card on and it looked a lot better than a SGC 3.5 too, I thought. And so I put it up for a price that I thought the grade was at, and it sold for 14,000. So that's just one card. But I've had a few other ones where, like Tatis. Oh man, I have a story about this. So I was big into Tatis when he first came out. So I actually had a orange refractor PSA 10, and I had $324 into the card. When he was hot, I had a $15,000 offer on it. I said no because I thought he was the next Mike Trout style thing, but then he popped positive on his drugs, and after that, his card prices just tanked. It just weren't the same. I still sold the card for about 3,200, but obviously I could have made a lot more.
That would have been nuts. 15,000 off of that, basically. Wow, that's
Yes.
incredible.
Yes,
Very cool.
and he's such a good player still too. It's just everybody thinks about that time.
Hey,
Tainted
I'm
just a
a
little
big
bit.
Sammy Sosa
Yes.
guy. I'm a Sammy Sosa, Mark McGuire guy. Barry Bonds. No shame there.
Yep.
Honestly, it's a breath of fresh air, Brian. Just to hear you speak about the card collecting, buying, trading, selling. You're so passionate about it. I love it.
Yeah.
So really appreciate you hopping on. I do want to get to one other aspect of Mr. Bryan Janick.
Yeah.
Take it further back before maybe the passion for the cards. Let's go to the good old SVSU. The year may be around 2007. I did my research.
Yeah.
There was not a club dodgeball team at Saginaw Valley.
There was not.
Till the Dodge father came along. Explain to us how you created a dodgeball team.
So when I got out of the Marine Corps, I got to SVSU and I was like, what am I going to do? I got to do something. I started doing some intramural sports and stuff like that. But a buddy of mine that I went to high school with, Ben Murphy, he started the club dodgeball team at Delta College. So a few of my buddies that I was friends with at SVSU, we went and watched a game at Delta College. And after that game, we were like, we got to do this. So I filled out all the paperwork and it went from there. That's one thing for dodgeball too. I was such a good recruiter that I eventually got half of those Delta guys over to SVSU just to play dodgeball.
NIL days, Brian was doing it on his own.
Yeah.
Electric. Oh my gosh. We have to thank Delta for something. All right.
Yes.
I love that. So aside from the paperwork, were there any real issues and getting enough people? Are there any
actually the people was pretty easy. I would anytime I was out at a party or any type of, we went to all the hockey games, all the club baseball games. We got a lot of people just from them just recruiting from them when they were done with their eligibility type stuff. And uh, we did a lot of events for like dodging cancer at SVSU and stuff like that. And we put up on charity dodgeball games. We went to high schools. We always played against the teachers and did charity events for that. And then the kids that would come from the schools that we went to were like, "Oh, we want to come to the dodgeball." So it was,
We're coming
yeah.
out to shoot for the dodgeball.
Yes,
That's
yes,
sweet.
It
yep,
is electric. Max,
yep.
give him one.
I'm just gonna. So
Yeah.
I watched on the Ocho, ESPN
Yeah.
the Ocho. Was it similar? Is it similar to that?
It's more intense.
Oh, okay.
So when you play dodgeball, you playing 15 on 15. You got 10 balls on the court. I think they might have changed the rules a little bit since I left, but when I was there, it was 15 on 15, 10 balls. And then you could go all the way up to their 3-point line and they could come all the way to your 3-point line. So you had that neutral zone with 10 balls on the court, and some of these guys would throw 60 to 80 miles an hour. There's a way you grip the dodgeball. It's called a gorilla grip, and you can pinch it. So, and if you throw overhand, it's got the downward spin. If you throw a sidearm, it's got the curve. And we had some ladies and whatnot that threw the riser. It's
Coming
Yep.
up. Oh,
Yes,
yes. That's
Yep.
awesome. Holy shit.
That is
Yep.
electric. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, dodgeball was awesome.
That dodgeball is awesome. I mean, I may not have copied, the movie from 2004 after the title of Dodgeballs Collecting Cards. It was called Dodgeball, a True Underdog Story. We call it the Bryan Janick story. So Max, I don't know if you're aware, but we're talking to a national champion. Here is Bryan. Bryan, I don't know if you're aware, you're talking to a national champion here in Max. So I'm talking to a couple national champions. Bryan, what was your favorite part of becoming a national champion?
So it was my last year on the dodgeball team, and I handed the reins off actually as captain to Spencer Jardine. So he was kind of running the show that year that we won the national championship. And we were to the Final Four. Man, it had to be 3 or 4 times, three at least, to the championship game. And Grand Valley, they beat us every year. And so anyways, during this tournament, my last year, we had a game versus Grand Valley. It was 1-1. It went to overtime. So there is overtime in dodgeball. If the score's tied after 2 15-minute halves, you go to overtime, and then there's like a reduced. Well, now it's a reduced amount of players on the court. I think when we won it was still 15 on 15, and then so this was versus Grand Valley. It went to overtime, tied 1-1, and it came down to a couple players, and I think we might have had 1 or 2 advantage at the end of the overtime regulation to move on. And when we got to the championship game, we played University of Kentucky, and we were up 5-0 before halftime, I think. So it was a blowout on that. Our biggest competition though was always Grand Valley. Grand Valley seriously was the most dominant dodgeball program ever. They won every single year. I think I was there except for maybe 2 years or whatever. But before me, they probably won 7 or 8 in a row, I'm guessing. It was an unbelievable run. I think Ohio State had one before them, and then it was like Grand Valley, then Central Michigan, then us, then back to Grand Valley for another slew of. I don't know what they're doing over there, but they just
breeding them. They're just breeding them.
Yes.
Damn, I'm happy to hear that Saginaw Valley put an end to it, or at least
Yes.
a little bit.
Yeah.
Good deal. All right. Is it true your jersey's retired?
It is. It is. They
so-
I came back. So I was living out here in DC area, and I came back for a game. It was they do a like a veteran versus active players type game every year, and I came back and they surprised me with retiring the jerseys. They had it framed and everything.
Oh, that's so cool.
Yeah.
All
Our
right, so that's pretty amazing. You have your jersey retired by Saginaw Valley State's club dodgeball team. So 2 questions on that.
Yes.
1, what number? And 2, how does that work? Is it hanging somewhere?
So it's my jersey number was 3, and they framed it for me, so I actually have it here.
Awesome. That's really cool.
But when we did win our national championship, they hung our banner up in the Ryder Center, and I believe it's still there today of our record and what year, and it's a pretty cool banner.
It definitely is. So Christine and I, we took a tour. I hadn't been to SVSU in forever, and we went this past fall, and it's still in the Ryder Center. So yeah,
That's awesome.
Yeah, very awesome. Very cool. Go Cards, baby.
Yeah, I know, right?
Awesome. Really good stuff. So dodgeball national champion. Love that, Bryan. All right. We have a couple last questions before I let you get out of here. This has been an amazing conversation interview with Bryan Janick. Episode 133 of Legally Teaching Engineer Sports, dodging balls and collecting cards, a Bryan Janick story. Max, I think you have one. Go ahead.
Yeah, my final follow-up question. I like a good jersey. I like random things. Do you collect anything else besides cards? Well, your card store, it's a card store. I shouldn't even ask. Well, your memorabilia.
So I do collect a lot of game used memorabilia and just random autographs that I get in person. So I do collect those type of things, and a lot of that will be on display in the shop. Some of it for sale, some of it not for sale. But
yeah, absolutely. Okay, that's sweet. All right, that's cool. But your main thing's cards.
Yes, I have a Tom Brady iced helmet autographed by him, serial numbered out of 12. That's one of my big ones.
Yeah, there you go.
Badass. Damn, that's really cool. Follow up on that question. Will your store have discounts to friends and fellow podcaster hosts?
I plan on doing law enforcement
there you go.
discount. Cool. There's a lot of law enforcement and military in this area, but I haven't decided yet what I'm going to do. I'm going to do something though, military and law enforcement, either like certain days as military appreciation day type thing, or I'll figure that out, but I will have something.
That's so cool.
Okay, so I guess I still have 2 more questions. One being just generally, how did you get into the card business? We'll just do that general. It's a very general question, so I guess do with that what you will.
Yeah. So I collected when I was young, but then when I was a junior in high school, we had a house fire and I lost everything. So I kind of stopped collecting cards after that, because what they don't tell you is you need your own insurance on that stuff if you have cards. Like house insurance doesn't cover any of that. You got to have a collectible insurance, and so we lost everything. And I had a lot of my dad's stuff and just miscellaneous stuff that I had. And so then, anyways, I went in the military. I started collecting some jerseys and stuff like that. I didn't really get into cards that much again. And then when I got out of the military and went to SVSU, I started a little bit getting some cards, just some like Tom Brady rookies and stuff like that, just things that I lost back in the day. And we got out here, and it was about 2019 that I started collecting cards again, and that was Fernando Tatis's rookie year, and I pulled some really big cards of him, like 3 of them autographed from Curveball Collectibles in Saginaw, Michigan. I pulled 3 Tatis autos out of 10 from his store, and that really got me back into cards. I started buying a lot of breaks from Mike. Mike always shipped out to me out here, and I went from there.
That's so cool.
That's really cool. Like I said, it's a breath of fresh air just to hear you speak on this. We can tell it's your passion. I really, really appreciate it and respect the heck out of that. So I said I only have one left. It's more like 2.5 now. Max. Well, what are the goal and aspiration for your goats and sports cards? What's your, I guess, end goal, end all be all, if you could have it?
Yeah, obviously to have more shops around the area would definitely but I signed a 10-year lease at our current location, so I'm locked in for at least 10 years.
It's
And
awesome.
as long and you know what, just have a family friendly type environment at the card shop. Kids come do breaks or do trade nights and stuff like that. I that's my goal on that. We also are located. Our store is located next to a vape shop and a sports bar,
Love that.
so you can get your cigar, you can get your beer and whiskey, and get your cards all in one location.
It's a one-stop shop, baby.
It
Yeah,
is.
this
It
is
is.
getting more and more appealing as you keep talking. Love that. Very, very awesome. Well, we wish you nothing but the best of luck
Yeah.
on this journey. We're going to be following along. We're going to do a better. We're not great with social media. I am very not good. Max is probably worse than me. We're trying to get better, so we're going to repost anything we see for you. So if you need us
Okay.
to put any good vibes out there for you, just let us know. We would be
Sounds good.
remiss though. We know you're a Michigan man.
Yeah.
We talked about Tom Brady. We know you like Detroit sports. You just, as we were getting back on or talking on, you're just like, you see Riley hit a home run, right? So, I mean,
Yeah.
what's this is gonna be the last one? What is your favorite that you can point to, Detroit or Michigan sports moment to this day?
Yeah, I got so I used to have season tickets for the Tigers when I was going to SVSU. And I was at the Galarraga game.
Oh,
Oh, the near perfect game.
Yes, I never left a game feeling so disappointed after a Tigers win. But I will say I also got a ball from that game too.
that makes that more
So
memorable.
so I have the baseball, I have the ticket stub and the news article all together.
That's so cool. Wow. Yeah, that's a pretty legendary moment. Very
Yep.
cool. Wow. Oh, this gave me a sad.
I know, I brought back bad memories.
Oh, I still remember.
Austin Jackson making that catch out in center field.
Oh my gosh. Oh, good stuff. Love that. All right, Bryan. Awesome interview. Can't wait to see how Goat Sports comes along. Looking forward to see more and more about it. But that is all for episode 133 of Legally Teaching Engineer Sports, Dodging Balls and Collecting Cards, of Bryan Janick's story. A twofer for our great heroic listeners. We have two quotes this Stevie. Our first comes from Patches O'Houlihan. If you can dodge a wrench, you can dodge a ball. Our second, Bryan.
That's funny because I was thinking, should I go dodgeball or sports cards? And I went sports cards.
Don't drink in bed. I love that. Bryan Janick, don't drink in bed. That is awesome. Give me one of those koozies. I am all in. Excellent job. Thank you so much, Bryan. That was all for Legally Teaching Engineer Sports, episode 133. Max, what's our POV?
PVO.
That's right. Positive vibes only.